Hello, everybody. It's Linda, and I have something different for you today. It's something that I was unprepared for, and it surprises me. But when you're working in the metaphysical realms, sometimes this is what life is like. I was chatting with my guides last night and just kind of processing through a few things that I thought I would like to share next with you. And I kept hearing this voice, morphic field, morphic field. And finally, I just asked, do you want me to talk about the morphic field? And, when I get a nod from the universe, this little brilliant blue light kind of clicks on, and that's my yes. So I thought, okay, that's a yes. So I started tuning into the energy of the guides and making some notes, and in my head kind of processing this and putting together more of a teaching session today. And they were like, no. Put that down, put it away, shut off your mind. We want to speak through you. We want to channel this information directly to those that you're sharing this with. So this is a first for me. I do channel for my clients, but that's a one-on-one. I have not done this in a more public format. And it's always a surprise. You never know what's going to come through. And what I love is that the information available through a channeling connection supersedes or bypasses the mental body. It bypasses the physical body. It taps into information that our mind is limited in processing and creating on its own. So there are always surprises. There's always new information. It's always brings out my curiosity and anticipation. So today I'm very excited and curious and a little bit nervous. And I'm going to take a minute, go into some quiet time and make a connection to these guides and ask them to speak through me with whatever they'd like to share with you today. Greetings, everybody. We are the Emissaries of Light. We are directly connected to Source, and you might call us translators, the sharer of information, the opening up the channels to light, undifferentiated light, pure love, pure wisdom and knowledge and information that goes beyond the beginning of time. For us, there is no time. So what we have to share is something that we have always held in our, what you might call data banks. But for us, it is timeless. It is always relevant. And we wait for appropriate time to share some of these things with you because they are esoteric, they are metaphysical. They often don't translate into human language, which limits the concepts and the flow of energy that we want to share with you. So I ask you today to open your heart, open your energy, allow your mental body to take a mini vacation, and let us just share with you some information that deep within you have known for a long time, but maybe not had the language or the experience to be aware of. We'd like to talk to you about something called the Morphic Field. Now, I know that you are aware of an aura that each of you has, an etheric body that extends 2 or 3 feet or about a meter beyond this physical dimension. And you perceive it as a sphere that has a defined shape and an edge or maybe a boundary to it. But within that etheric field, there are many, many layers of information and connection. You might have heard things like the causal body, the psychological aspect, the astral body. Well, the morphic field is one of the littlest known and yet one of the most important aspects that's held within this etheric body. And it's at the very edge of the etheric body, because the morphic field is your highest sacred divine self, and it connects through your aura, your physical experience, with divine source. This morphic field is always there and it's always available, but until you put some attention on it and have an awareness of it, it is not highly functioning. It is dormant, as you might say in your language. So we'd like to introduce you to it today and talk about its function and why we're bringing it forth to you today. Bring into your awareness an image of a rainbow. You know, a rainbow is something as humans brings joy. Everybody loves a rainbow. You smile, you talk about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It doesn't seem to have a beginning or an end, and yet it hovers in your space in this beautiful arc of various colors. What you're actually seeing is the morphic field. Now, maybe no one has ever put this into language for you before. This is a new teaching, a new concept for you. In your experience, a rainbow has the interplay of sunlight and water, and it just has this brief presentation until the rain or the storm passes. But in reality, for that small moment, we are allowing you to physically experience the morphic field. This is the bridge between your physical body and your highest spiritual connection to divine source, whatever that source is for you. And the more we put some focus and attention on this field, the more active and present it is, and the more available it is to bring you into a higher dimensional connection in your daily life. Think of it as an umbilical cord, where through this energy body that you have outside your physical body, there is literally an energetic cord of attachment, this channel, this tube or tunnel that goes to highest source. And through that connection, source is continually nurturing and nourishing you and filling your entire being with wisdom and knowledge and information. It's a safety net. It is security. It's mother and child. It's that basic connection of how something is birthed into being and what holds the energy and the information of all possibilities is through that cord of connection that we call the morphic field. So why are we bringing this forward to you today? It's a unique time in your lifetime on your planet. You have the opportunity right now to live in a state of high dimensional spiritual energy like never before. You can still have a physical body and form and experience life in a linear time on planet Earth, but you can almost view that as a movie screen in front of you and observing this life that you've created passing by while you are in this higher energetic sacred space observing the experience you're having on the earth. It means that you can hold the energy of the morphic field by being aware of it and stay in that energy every moment of your time. You never have to leave that moment. You can choose to step into that sacred energy and be the morphic field. Your host, Linda, that we're speaking through, we told her many years ago that she is a morphic field, and her job is to be that bridge to translate higher energies and information and knowledge from the metaphysical and the esoteric realms to those of us living here on the planet who maybe don't have the same experience. And while she has taken this on as part of her mission or her purpose here, you all have the same opportunity because each of you is a morphic field. And we're asking you to put your attention and put your focus and put your awareness on this spiritual aspect of yourself. Now, I want to be sure that you're not confusing this with religion in any way. This is beyond planetary belief systems. This is non-restrictive. It has no boundaries. It has no dogma. It is simply a way of being, of recognizing and validating that pure love of Source that we originated from. We have not shown up as a group in this way before because the energies of the planet have been too dense for us to risk, and we use the actual term risk, bringing our energy close enough for all of you to connect with us. Because it does require that we step into a denser frequency, a lower vibration, a place where we are far away from our Source, even though we are connected to Source. But because of the revolution that your planet has been going through the last 10 years in particular, that transformation from this dense linear masculine energy to a more feminine, fluid, transitional energy that brings about massive change and awareness and personal transformation, you now are ready to receive the information we have to bring forth. You are ready to fully accept and incorporate the highest spiritual aspects of your own self. And without any reservation, be comfortable, and we will use the word safe in showing that side of yourself on a daily basis, to be spirit, to be love, to be the energy of Source and divinity and highest good, while navigating all the challenges that are here on the planet. It's an exciting time. It's never been a time, unless you go all the way back to Atlantis. We have that possibility now of returning to a time of peace and perfection. And I don't mean the third dimensional earthly idea of perfection. Perfection, the way we bring it to you, is all possibilities. Living every moment in present time in a multidimensional state where you can have many experiences simultaneously and just choose which experience you want to be a part of. I think the most important word is perspective. If you think about living in this morphic field, your perspective on everything that's happening around you is different. It fits into a context that you have not known before. Let's talk a minute about dying, that transitional time when we leave our physical body. Because the morphic field is the tunnel with the light at the end of the tunnel that you hear people talk about when they have near-death experience. It's a pathway. It is a process. It's like a roadmap of how do you get from here back to source. How do you let your soul release itself from the physical body when you are making your transition and moving through that field to where you originated. Your physical body will release the soul and the body will disintegrate, but the soul returns through that tunnel into the light and joins with the group of souls that it entered this planetary experience with. And from that space, there are new choices available. The dying is only a fearful process from the perspective of those staying behind. For those making the journey, once we accept and release our hold on the planet, it is going home. It is a beautiful experience. It is like other souls and emissaries like us and guides are there to meet you and assist you on your final transition. It's a releasing of all the constraints that you've had on this planet. You know, there's no more form. There is no more like good and bad and linearity and separation. It is all about going into a unified field where all are one. And it is a beautiful experience. So let's just take a minute and feel into this unity consciousness right now where we are all speaking in a very, very high dimensional space. We apologize for using language because your language is limiting. It is very challenging to take these esoteric concepts and put them into a language that carries the impact of the frequency and the vibration and the possibilities of what we're sharing with you. But with our energy and with your host's energy, right now we are holding such a high dimensional state that it's our intention for you to feel and experience and just hang out in a place that feels safe and comfortable and expansive and unified and conscious. And we ask you to anchor this feeling in your heart center so that you remember what it feels like to hang out in this space. And ask you just a moment or two a day to remember both the feeling, the senses, the sensations, the energy, the vibration, and the reality of this beautiful rainbow of connection. That umbilical cord of pure love that connects you as a physical being to Source. We feel that our transmission is complete for today. So go play with the rainbows. Have fun. Have this new awareness. Be excited. You know, it's like the rainbow is always there. We have limited vision. And it is our gift to you sometimes to make it visible so that you can see it in form and shape and color. But in reality, if the rain and the sun went away, in that moment, that morphic field is still there. We've just given you a little gift of illumination. Many blessings.